Welcome to Romance Rex, where three book besties explore the world of romance novels and encourage you to expand your TBR. Join us as we dive into the hottest releases and hidden gems of the genre. You can find us on Instagram and TikTok at Romance Rex Pod. I'm Jordan, and I'm currently reading The Dread Queen's Bargain, a novella by Molly Tulis. And I'm listening to A Court of Nightmares by K.A. Knight and Four Psychos by Christy Cunning. It's a mixed bag, and it's all twisted.
That's crazy. Yeah, that is very mixed up. Hey guys, I'm Dev. I am currently reading an arc from NetGalley and Berkeley Publishing. Thank you guys so much. I'm reading Cross the Line. I'm really excited. It's by Simone Soltani. This just looks like it's going to be a chef's kiss kind of read, and it is F1, so that's exciting. I'm also listening to book 6 of Zodiac Academy, which has also been fun.
You're also reading a lot there, Dev.
Yeah.
Do it, Jordan. Unlike me, it's me, Christina, and I'm only reading one book. It's An Unexpected Kind of Love by Hayden Stone.
That's so cute.
Hello, everyone. I'm glad you're here, so please buckle up for some bookish banter to join us.
Oh,
that was actually so good. Yeah.
Thanks for sticking with us, hopefully, through this season of Romance Rex. If you are new, then go back. We have a whole season.
Yeah. Hey, hi, nice to meet you. Okay, this episode, before we get off the rails, is Retellings. Woohoo! I know. I've actually read quite a few. I think a lot of us have read, like, not just us, but you guys, listeners, you've probably read a lot of retellings and just don't even realize it. It's so easy to sneak in like a fairy tale or like a myth or lore or a legend or something into contemporary romance or fantasy, and then you're just eating this book up with no idea. Because that brings one of the, I guess, a very popular retelling, which Christina, you actually mentioned earlier. A lot of you may not know, but Christina, why don't you tell us what that book is?
It's a little book. You might have heard of it. It's called A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J.
So, but what, I mean, we all see the Beauty and the Beast parallels and everything. Oh, it's a Beauty and the Beast retelling. At least the first one is. But when we went to the release of Crescent City House of Flame and Shadow, we did the trivia. And apparently it is a mix of 7 different retellings. Yeah,
which is crazy.
Which,
it's like come
on, give it a break at that point. I'm sorry, that's a lot. Do we need that? Can we just say it's an original story at that point and it just takes
right? I mean, I can't even remember the other fairy tales that it's supposed to come off or be about. But yeah, it's a mix.
There was some I never
very much just like hero's journey, which goes back to Greek storytelling. So it's all the same pretty much at this point, anyways.
Everything goes back to Greek storytellings. Let's be honest.
Exactly.
Probably,
including some of our ones today.
Yeah. Well, I actually have a quote. Like, my quote for today is from a Hades and Persephone retelling. It's from The Dread Queen's Bargain by Molly Tulis, which I'm currently reading. It's a novella, so I'm right in the middle. I just started it today. But I thought, I'd do a little on-brand themed quote. So Hades and Persephone did it. She went by a different name when she met him. She doesn't know her fate to be with him because Demeter has kept her away from that. And she seduced Hades because she's like, oh, he's hot. Anyways, this is like the next morning. And she was just calling him out on what he was saying. And he goes, now wait a minute, Hades growled, pointing his finger in Persephone's face. Don't put words in my mouth, goddess. I don't think you're a child like your mother does, but I am older than you. I notice you didn't say shit about being wiser. It was implied. I must have missed it, Persephone countered. And then the term brat gets brought up and punishing, and it goes from there. I'll let you use your imagination from that.
I love me a brat. That's so funny.
And Persephone is a brat. And Hades is a crotchety old god, so.
Please don't say crotchety.
Well, I mean, he's multi-millennia old, so I think if anyone could be crotchety, it's
giving crotchety.
The short end of the stick.
Yeah.
It's not short.
Oh! But Okay, I have a quote, or I technically have two. It is from a book I'm going to mention today, or both of them are from a book I'm going to mention today, but they're so different, and I just really liked it. So in this book, it is My Dark Desire by L.J. Shannon, Parker S. Huntington. And the first quote, it's just so cute and sweet, and it's like amping you up, right? It's, if you want to quit, quit. Sometimes quitting is braver than persisting. I tipped her chin up, forcing her to look at me. But if you're quitting because you're afraid of what others think, that's bullshit, and you're stronger than that, Farrah Ballantyne. And I was like, oh, that's so sweet and uplifting.
I love that quote so much. No, I relate to that. I love it. Sorry, go.
Right, I know. That's why I relate to it. It's like, oh, yeah, like a good uplifting quote. But the next one is, we girls have girl bossed too close to the sun, and now we're spending our weekends cleaning up puke instead of reading books in the hot tub. And I really relate to that, being a toddler mom, because WTF, how the hell did I get here? I'm supposed to be reading books in a hot tub, and every weekend I'm like chasing my toddler around and cleaning up whatever bodily fluids have come out of him. So those are my two quotes.
Very close to home, both of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Those books are so relatable. Love them.
Very even though I can't they're wealthy, but still
I mean, I relate to that.
Yeah, I relate to the strife.
Yeah. But not their journey.
Not their journey. No,
not their
absolutely
specific
not.
Strife, but just strife in general.
I could not. I could not relate if I tried.
Neither can 99% of us.
Right. Sick. Not us laughing through our pain.
I'm laughing so hard and crying.
Okay, I have a quote. It's from a book I've recommended on an earlier episode, and I will shout it out today. It's from the Gilded series, specifically from Glow by Raven Kennedy. This one says, I need you all to tuck your dicks in for a second and try to think rationally, like a woman. And I just loved that.
Yes.
No, that is so good. Yeah.
I love that. Because
absolutely,
men are so much more irrational. We have been
so irrational.
We have been gaslit as women to believe that we are irrational when we just call out BS in the moment. If you call out BS in the moment, you're being emotional and irrational. Yeah, tuck those dicks in, assholes.
Right. Sick.
If the world was run by women,
I do love that.
It'd be better.
It would. It quite honestly would.
Matriarchal society. Speaking of retellings, who wants to go?
Well, I actually want to hear Christina because...
Oh, I'm excited. I'm so excited.
Yes, I'm very excited about Christina's.
I have chosen to do something a little different today. And instead of traditionally published books, I've chosen all either AO3 or fanfic. One that has led to a publishing later on just recently. But the others are all, you find them online.
Can you explain to our reader or our listeners who aren't familiar what AO3 is?
Yes, sorry, it's just so in my brain. Yes, AO3 is, it's called Archive of Our Own. There's another older website, fanfic.net. Those are both, they got big in the early 2000s, 2010s as a way for writers, just fans of fandoms to write their own interpretations of different stories. If you wanted to see a different ending or different characters get together or just hash it out. I myself wrote Harry Potter Pirates of the Caribbean fan fiction when I was about 14.
Is it still up?
I need copies.
Can I go find it?
Copies.
We can go find it, please.
I don't even know what my name was, probably Orlando Bloom Lover.
Man, weren't we all at that age though?
For real.
Yeah.
I love that.
All right. So yeah, it's just a great little way to get other people's work out there to see.
So what are you highlighting? I'm so excited.
Yes, okay. I know. I can't wait.
Lots of Star Wars, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Fun. I tried to tone it down for you guys.
You don't have to tone anything down for us.
That is so...
Okay, so the first one is a pretty famous one. If you are a Harry Potter fan, you've probably heard of it. Manacled. And I hope I pronounced her name right. Sin Yu, I think.
Yeah.
I actually had heard she just got a publishing deal over this, but we'll have to obviously alter a lot because the characters are owned by JK.
Yeah, she has to make it not Harry Potter. She has to change the characters. So she really has to rework it, but...
Yeah, that's... Congrats on her, though.
But Dev had sent me a post. There's lots of works that have been previously that I hadn't known about that were previously fanfics. Like a big one is 50 Shades of Grey or A City of Bones. Those were all started as fanfics. This will be the same kind of way. We'll see how it does. But the story is basically a Handmaid's Tale retelling using Harry Potter characters. So in this story, the Order of the Phoenix lost the Wizarding War and Voldemort won.
Devastating.
And so he kills off all the members of the Order of the Phoenix, except someone had thrown Hermione in like a dungeon and just left her there for like 18 months. And she got wiped off the records. No one knew she was in this dungeon. They opened the dungeon and they like didn't even know she was down there kind of thing. And they're like, how did you even survive? And she's like, well, someone was delivering me food. I thought it was you guys. And they're like, no. So that's part of the mystery at the beginning. So she gets pulled up in front of a healer and they're like, well, we're sending you to go make babies basically because the war was really awful and lots of witches and wizards died. So sort of like Germany-esque, what Hitler did, he wants to repopulate. That's what Voldemort wants to do. He wants to repopulate with dark wizards and witches. So he's using... Well,
because a lot of the witches, pure blood, quote unquote, witches, right, also were infertile. They were fighting. There was a lot of issues.
Yeah,
okay, that's what I was about to say because...
Able to get pregnant. Don't ask
interesting, because I was like, Hermione's not even pure blood. I was so confused, but that was a problem. Oh, I didn't know that was a part of it. They were using other magical
people like as a
yeah. And they basically only used Hermione, I think, because they like thought she was so strong for lasting in this dungeon for so long. So she must have really strong magical qualities. So we're gonna just go with it. We're gonna use her because we can.
Voldemort asked for her specifically. Sorry, this is like making me really emotional. I'm sorry. I will stop adding. No,
it's okay. I like your input too because it's a.
What do you mean Voldemort asked for her?
No, not in that way, but like he requested that she be part of this program. She was a special prisoner, and Umbridge is the one that put her in the cell.
Of course,
like forgot her
behind his. Yeah,
who was feeding her?
It's part of the mystery, but I'm like sitting here. I want to cry thinking about this story.
Yeah, I can't read it because of that reaction from people.
I did.
So she gets assigned to Malfoy Manor. She gets sent to Draco's house. Draco is married to a wife, but she's unable to provide him an heir. And he is also basically the right-hand man of Voldemort. He's going off to different countries to kill off the political enemies, hunt down Orders of the Phoenix members, doing any of Voldemort's bidding. He is the right-hand man. And Hermione is just stuck in a little room with no magic. They've taken away her wand. They've made everything charmed, so even if she knocks down a vase, it can't break, so she can't try to kill herself. Like, it's all charmed and everything, and then for 3-4 days a month when she's fertile, she's brought in front of Draco, and yeah, it's like Handmaid's Tale.
And they're both compelled, and neither one has a choice.
So Draco doesn't want to do it?
Well,
Draco doesn't want to do it?
It's very clinical.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
He like drinks and is like, let's get this over with kind of thing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's very Handmaid's Tale then, because it was super clinical for them as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, it wasn't clinical in the way that he was like looking at this that way. You could tell he just didn't want to be a part of it. He was just like, didn't want to have to do it, but he like was ordered to.
By Voldemort.
You knew that from the beginning. He was ordered to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. And we get a peek as it goes on into more of Voldemort's plans for the world and like how he's planning on using Death Eaters, because Hermione starts talking more to Draco and we just get a little more information. I don't want to give too much away, but this fiction is dark. It's perfect for Hermione fans.
Hermione. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. See, I told you I'd mess it up.
No, it's fine. But
I can't
mess it up. But also, I think the important part that I don't know if you mentioned too much about, she doesn't have her memories.
Oh yeah, it's sort of jumbled.
She lost her memories.
Them back, yeah, slowly.
And because through being in the isolation, something happened, a magic that they have no knowledge of, literally ate away at her brain.
Yeah. And so they actually, you're right, they bring Snape in first because he's like the expert in curses and he's trying to find
or whatever it is to look at memories.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. and fix her curse and her memories, and they can't. And that's why he sends her to Draco, because Draco's great at curses too. And they're hoping that having a baby with her will cure this curse, because she also has memories locked away from the Order of the Phoenix that Voldemort wants. So that's part of the understory too.
Yeah, and so you get flashbacks to before the end of the war. So you get like
to the Golden
flashbacks to the war, and you learn more and more about what happened. I mean, you see everyone except for Hermione die. That is not a spoiler either. You see Ron and all the Weasleys
hanging in the Great Hall. Yeah, it's.
I'm like Christina's making me cry with the first one.
Yeah, I couldn't. Once I found out like just the basis that the Ron thing was like everybody died, and then the connection to Handmaid's Tale, I was like, this might be a little too heavy for me. And I'm okay with stuff, but yeah, and
the writing is so good.
I've seen chapters
I've ever read.
Yeah, I've seen people post snippets, and the writing seems very beautiful and flowery. I'm not ready yet. I think I will, just because it's so sensationalized, and I would love to read it before it now goes to be published as something else. I feel like I want to do that. Yeah, but I just know that I am going to be crying every minute. So.
Yes, you have to be in the right headspace, but also it is free on Spotify. I don't know if you know that, Christina. That's how I read it, is I listened to it. Each chapter is an episode, and it's under podcasts. So you can listen to it. And it's been
translated into so many languages too. She worked with other artists to help translate it. So it's really worldwide phenomenon.
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing this. Thank you for bringing this one up, Christina, because this is.
I'm sorry.
Oh, it is. Don't apologize. Any piece of work that can really move someone to this length, it's an accomplishment. It's worth noting.
Yeah.
I agree. That's why I like reading fanfic. I know it's not traditional.
So do you have anything with tentacles after this? Like,
no. Jeez. I went with cutesy.
Darn it.
This one.
I love cutesy.
This one is so special to my heart, because just listen to the premise of this book, or the story, okay? It's called Silent Smiles, Lilting Laughs by Halvwyn. I don't know if that's pronounced. It's a name on a fanfic site, okay? This fanfic is still currently unfinished, so I've been waiting for a while for it to be finished. I'm waiting. But here's the summary from the author. So it's a Star Wars retelling, okay. Ben Solo was born deaf in a world where you find your soulmate by recognizing their laugh. Right? Turning to art to cope. I know. Turning to art to cope, he finds himself working as a comic book artist as the name Kylo Ren for First Order Publishing. Rey is a very stressed senior studio art major and frequents the same coffee shop as him. When she recognizes his laugh, she finds herself in over her head in a work hell, family drama, and facing the struggles of finding her soulmate. It is... Oh, it's so beautiful.
No, because I'm actually crying.
It's making both of us cry.
No, that just sounds so beautiful. Is it written really like poetic and like beautiful?
Both the characters have trauma dumps, right? And then like she comes up to him, like she goes back for days watching him, because he doesn't know that's her soulmate, because that's how his parents found her, soulmates. Her parents were soulmates because you hear each other's laugh. But he's deaf, so he just thought he'd never find a soulmate in his life, right? And so she introduces, finally, after days of watching him, her friends are like, you've got to introduce yourself. And so she does, and she learns ASL just to talk to him.
Oh,
I know. It's so sweet. So, yeah.
Deb is bawling right now. I am waiting for this episode.
It's Star Wars characters and Star Wars names, but it's set exactly in our world, except you find your soulmate by hearing their laugh. So that's the only difference from our world. And so Rey was orphaned young, and Ben doesn't think he'll ever find his soulmate. And I'm kind of going out of order. She teaches herself sign, and she's an artist looking for a job, and he works for an art company. So he's trying to introduce, but his boss is an asshole, a Snoke from this series. And so they're like working. I know it's because he works at First Order Comics. And his best friend in the series is, oh gosh, what's his name? Hux, General Hux. Yeah, that's his best friend. I know. And she's cute. Best friends with Finn. Yeah, it's just so sweet. Yeah. And I love the characters, but like I said, it's unfinished, so I know some people don't like
the book is unfinished?
The the fanfic is unfinished. They say, like, on the bottom you can see, like, how many chapters are planned and how many they've written. And so she hasn't finished writing it yet. And I don't know if they
Have you messaged her? Can you message?
It was not written and not updated since 2021, so I don't know.
Oh, I really hope you get it.
Wow.
I've been waiting 3 years, almost 4.
So you don't know, are they together where you've left off? Well, actually, no. Will that spoil it?
No,
okay, no, don't answer.
She's started getting closer to him, yeah, for sure.
But there's no HEA yet. Oh.
Yeah, that's great. So man.
So I read so many Star fanfics, but that's my favorite. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, Dev.
So that was my question, actually. When you read fanfics that are like heavily based on Star Wars, do you have to have an overwhelming knowledge about Star Wars and that entire world to read these?
I think it's,
or is it just like a name?
Yeah, I think this one is just names. I think some of them go deeper into the lore. It's all just, you don't really have to be an expert in it, I wouldn't say. This one definitely, it uses the names of characters. You get Ben, and he works as a comic book artist. His pen name is Kylo Ren, which is and he works for First Order Industries, which the First Order is in Star Wars. But it's it's just the names in this one, and it's set in our world, so coffee shops and iPhones and all this.
Yeah, modern
Then there's
stuff.
other ones that take place in space or other things. Yeah.
Got it. Okay, because I know Star Wars, but I don't know as much. So I was like, oh, yeah.
Okay, cool. I have one more, and this one was originally published on an app called Webtoon, and Webtoon is a comic book reading app, and so people submit their comics, and so their stories told in comic format. This one has been now traditionally published. It's called Lore Olympus by Rachel Smythe. And this is another Persephone and Hades retelling. It's a popular choice. It started way back in 2018. That's when I started reading it. And it was published in 2021.
The OG.
Yeah.
So if you've never checked out Webtoon, you should. There's another story on there, my favorite. I've told both you girls, The Cursed Princess Club. It's the funniest story you'll ever read in your whole life. But this app has so many different stories. It's great. But this artist, she wrote and illustrated this. So it's amazing work. And
it's beautiful. I've seen it.
It is. Yeah. I've seen it. Every time I'm in Target, I see it and I'm like, this is amazing.
I know. I wish. I'm like, she's so doubly talented to be able to draw.
Yeah.
I can do it.
Right. I feel that.
No, not you, Deb.
I tried to draw. No, I can't draw. I tried to draw a blueprint for the kitchen in one of my scenes in my book. And if you ever saw that, like, I gave up because it looks like trash. So after you told us that she actually illustrated that book, I'm like, that's crazy. You can write and draw. Like, look at you. Lucky.
She has a huge following too.
Some people are just blessed by the gods.
Some people are so blessed. Must be nice.
Not us again. No, just kidding.
Take it away, Christina. Take it away. Sorry, we have a pity party for 3.
All right. This is Lore Olympus is comic book graphic novel-esque style. Beautiful artwork to go with every scene. The story follows Persephone, who was raised in the mortal world by her mom to keep her away from Olympus and, all the craziness that goes on with that. Anywho, she moves in with Artemis. Her mom, finally, she takes a vow that she'll always stay a virgin, and her mom allows her to come to Olympus. So
she's the fertility goddess, though.
Her mom
Persephone
makes
is a
her
fertility
take
goddess.
A vow. And she's like, okay. And then so she moves in with Artemis, and Artemis gives her first, iPhone. And it's like, we're going to a party tonight. And little sweet Persephone, who doesn't know anything, is like, okay, and gets dressed up and doesn't know how good she looks kind of thing, because she's just like, never
Persephone hit the town looking like a baddie with a little iPhone. Not a baddie and her baddie friend. I love that. Yes, Persephone, love that for you, babe. Fertility, womanhood, womb.
Ignorance.
Yeah, heavy on the naivete.
Exactly. So she bumps into who else but Hades at this point.
Of course.
And it starts their whirlwind friendship, forbidden love story.
I love that you said friendship.
Yes, they're heavy on the friendship at first. Like, they text back and forth all the time. No, it's so cute.
That's cute. That is so cute.
I know. And they're always she sends selfies to him every day because she's the first ever iPhone.
Right.
I know.
It's adorable.
It is really cute. I didn't know it was that cute. I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize the story itself was cute.
And so they all have modern amenities. So Katie drives the fanciest sports cars, and he's always in the fine suits.
Of course.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy. It's got a 4.9 on Amazon with over 11,000 views. I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty high.
And on Webtoon, there's over 1 billion viewers.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wait, you said Webtoon's an app, right? I'm going to download it right now because I've never heard of this.
So good. It's seriously that good. And it's perfect if you love romance mythology. It's that light on the mythology. It's not as deep into mythology as other ones go. But I think that's good if you don't know a lot about Greek mythology to understand a little bit about each one. But it's funny. You got Hades button heads with his brother. Both his brothers, I guess.
Yeah.
It's just a great, fun little story.
Oh, I love it. I love the journey you took us on. You started with me crying just from remembering the book and Handmaid's Tale to the idea of this tragic, beautiful love story that Dev is just even thinking about the premise and crying. And then we end with this cute, oh my God, that's adorable.
Right.
I love what you just did there. Thank you.
Yeah,
that's what
you killed that.
Fanfic has so much to be able to share with people, and I love it. So, like, sometimes I'll just read fanfic all the time. There was like 2 years of my life I did read traditional published books, and I spent all my time.
Good.
That's when I got deep into the tentacles there, Jordan.
Did you get into the tentacles, or did they get into you?
Flag on the play. Flag on the play.
Okay, and then
I love that. That really. Oh, you have another one?
No, I just wanted to shout out just to the Plated Prisoner series that I've mentioned before by Raven Kennedy. It's the King Midas retelling. And if you're a survivor of any abusive situation, it's Carthot. Nope, lost the word.
Cathartic
experience. Okay, there we go. Sorry. My brain. Now I'm teacher Jordan. Miss Jordan. Thank you, Miss Jordan.
That's hilarious.
Thank you, Christina. I really, from the bottom of my heart, thank you.
All right, Jordan, you want to go next?
Oh, sure. Yeah, you just keep working on your webtoons there.
Sorry, yeah, that's literally why I asked, because I'm
I knew it would. I knew it would be.
I was like, let me get this.
So the problem I had with today's episode is a lot of my retellings and my favorite retellings I have already recommended in previous episodes, and we try to do new ones whenever we can. So I really only have 2. You'll see. My first recommendation is a series, and you're going to be floored when I tell you this is a YA series.
There's no way.
The looks on these ladies' faces right now when they heard me say YA.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. This series is called Daughters of Evil by Chanda Han. Not evil, but Evil, so Eville. There are 7 books and is 7 vengeful sisters, 7 fairy tale kingdoms, and 7 daughters of Evil. So Evil is this enchantress, right? She has essentially adopted 7 girls and taught them and raised them in a loving home. So there are 7 girls in this home, in this basically tower home on the outskirts of Nil, in the town of Nil, which means nothing. Mm-hmm. Each one represents a different, not just necessarily Disney princess, but a different Disney character. One of them, I believe, the one I'm on right now, I'm on book 5 of 7.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. And I did this in the last 2 weeks. You guys have no idea.
Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy.
I know. It's free right now on Audible, all of them. And it's just really cool. The first one is Beauty and the Beast. The retellings, I think, put just enough original spin on it, but enough to stay true to a lot of the characters. It's different enough to where I stayed interested in a...
Yeah.
Which is closed door.
It's closed door, but I loved it. Sleeping Beauty was really cool. So it's of Beast and Beauty, of Glass and Glamour, of Sea and Song, of Thorn and Thread, of Mist and Murder, of Gold and Greed, and then of Secrets and Slippers. So I am on of Mist and Murder, which I believe is a twist on Maleficent.
Maleficent's one of my favorites.
Yeah, and so that's been it's just interesting. I like the twists that they have on them all. I don't really want to get into all the different nitty gritty because it is exactly what I tell you. It's a pretty strict retelling. And you also learn different scenarios that brought these babies and toddlers or children to Lady Avil, right? So they grew up learning to get revenge on the 7 kingdoms because Avil has a vendetta against all 7 kingdoms because her marriage to one of the kings was null and void when something happened to her dad, and all of them cast her out. And the moment her beauty came into play, they all dropped down and proposed to her, all 7, and she scorned them all. So she has raised these girls to take revenge on the kingdoms.
Wow.
But you'll learn through each book how who these girls were or truly are, their true identity before coming to be with her. So they're all, spoiler alert, important characters, important people in the kingdom that went missing or were thought dead. But it's just fun.
Yeah, it sounds fun.
I really enjoyed it.
I've never heard of that series.
Me neither.
Yeah, I found it through just scrolling through things that were included on my membership. And I needed more for retellings. I wanted new things for retellings. I didn't realize it was YA until the first one got done. And I was like, wait a minute. She's pregnant? Did we see them have sex? What? Oh, spoiler alert. She got pregnant. I was like, no. And I had to really think about it for like 10 minutes. I go, I don't think I would have missed that.
Right. But that's good. That means you enjoyed it enough to stick with it.
I did. One series that is not a retelling that I love, it's pretty popular, Dark Olympus series by Katie Robert. I really enjoy it. I know Dev thinks it's okay for the most part, but she's following through with it. I love it, personally. I love these.
I love the first 3 books.
Okay. Neon Gods, Electric Idol, Wicked Beauty. Then there's Radiant. See, I loved Radiant Sin. I know you didn't like it. I loved Apollo and Cassandra. Yeah. So the first one is Hades and Persephone. Hades has a sex club. Great.
Love it.
Electric Idol is Eros and Psyche. Wicked Beauty is Achilles, Patroclus, and Helen.
Oh,
yes. Yeah, that one was hot. Radiant Sin, Apollo, and Cassandra. I loved that. See, I loved their dom-sub relationship.
Yeah.
Cruel Seduction is Aphrodite, Hephaestus, Adonis, and Pandora. They are in an open polynaught relationship, which means some of them are with some of them. Not everyone is with each other, basically. And 1 or 2 of them is just in an open relationship. It's messy and it's good.
Sounds like
Midnight Ruin is Eurydice and Orpheus and Charon.
Oof. Yes.
That one we've had that one. I've talked about it on this podcast. Midnight Ruin.
Okay. Yeah.
It's the throuple, and that's the one with where it's like puppy play. Sorry, puppy play. No, you just from the title you don't like it, but if you read it, Dev, I think you would love it. So I really need you to read it.
I am because I love you. It's Eurydice, right?
Yeah, Eurydice.
I love Eurydice,
and she's a switch in this. So Orpheus is dom, Eurydice is a switch, and Charon he's kind of a switch, but he's mostly a sub in this situation because he is groveling and trying to earn trust back.
Because we meet them two specifically in their whole plight in book one. Yeah.
And Dark Restraint comes out in a month or 2. That's Ariadne and the Minotaur. Then their Sweet Possession is going to be Poseidon and Icarus. And then Untitled is going to be Hera and Zeus, and that is the one we are all frothing at the mouth for.
Literally, I need it. Yeah. I need to understand.
And book 10 is going to be Hermes and Redacted. She just edited it to say there's 2 redacteds, not just one, because she's like, I've been writing, and all of a sudden I go, nope, this is what it is. Or they said, sorry, Katie Robert goes by they, them. So I haven't even described this whole series, but it is, as you can tell, like Olympus retelling, but it's set in a kind of like a modern world, but they have their own
bubble,
almost realm bubble is a good way to say it within our world. There is a kind of companion series called Wicked Villains that happens outside of Olympus, and that is where all the Disney villains are. And I've read the first one, and it was a Jasmine and Jafar together.
Disney signed off on this?
When I tell you, it was dark. I have not gone back for the rest, but there's one called The Beast. There's a whole bunch. But Dark Olympus, I just love it because they're also intertwined in the political system, and the political system is really cool. And I love that. I love to watch the characters through each of the books and how it all changes.
And it's a big part of the storyline.
Yes, the spice is amazing. As you go through the series, Olympus becomes under fire as people from the outside world are trying to get in and claim the series. Yeah. And the thing I love about Katie Robert and their work, at least in the last few years, and especially with this series, is everyone is queer. Everyone is queer. Even if it's like a straight presenting couple, they've had lovers of any gender in the past. There is just representation of every kind.
Yeah, everybody's included.
And it's done in a way that nothing is highlighted to say, hey, look at me. I'm non-binary.
Yeah.
It's just, that's how their world is. It's just everyone is just the way they are. It's so refreshing to read.
I've seen it so many times when I've walked in a bookstore and I've just never picked it up.
Yeah, it's really good. And it's good. It's an easy to read. Like you can read it quickly.
They're not
it's a easy series.
Well, not even length, but like the way that it reads
they're not like
is
huge books.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, in size and in I don't want to say the quality of writing, but like the way it's written, you read quickly.
It's very digestible. Yeah.
That's a great way to say it. Yes.
Yeah. I think one of my favorite things about Katie Robert and the way that they write, especially in just the Dark Olympus series, I read a lot of books where like if the character is considered a person of color or just anyone who is not white, there's a lot of emphasis on it's highlighted, right? But Katie Robert will be like, he looks like a middle-aged white man with blonde hair. Describing white people gets the same, I don't know, descriptions, or you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, the way that sexual orientation is represented, the same can be said with different body types and different, and that's what's so refreshing about Katie Robert to me.
Yeah.
Is they have just as many plus figured people.
Loved my girl psyche.
Not just girls, not just guys, but non-binary. Everyone is who they are. And, and
they just write super inclusive.
They put out fan art too, and it's very much true. Yes. It's beautiful. Dark Olympus series by Katie Robert. And Go Katie Robert is a Washingtonian too. So
yep. Love that. We're having a meeting and for us.
We're having a meeting this summer if you want to come.
Join us.
Right. Yeah. Coming up, Katie. Bring Harley.
Then my honorable mentions are ones that have already been discussed in this podcast. So Beasts of the Briar, I mentioned a lot in the first few episodes, and I know I highlighted it once, by Elizabeth Helen. It's a reverse harem Beauty and the Beast retelling. We have 3 books currently. The 4th one is coming out in a few months. So excited. They are also from the Pacific Northwest, and it's a sister duo that writes them. It's amazing.
I did see the cover reveal for the new book.
Yeah.
It was very cute.
Please read that. It's so good. And they are indie authors. Their mom does like all their merch and stuff.
It's so cute.
So cute. I know.
The win.
I know. Moms are great. Then another dark series, Vicious Lost Boys series by Nikki St. Crow. I know Christina mentioned this one in an episode. I think, did you do it in your dark series? Dark romance?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. It is a dark series. It's Peter Pan and the Lost Boys reverse harem with Wendy and the Lost Boys. Christina, I know you were like, it was good, but you didn't read the whole series because you were like, that's too dark. If you like dark romance and you want a retelling, this is where you need to go. I loved it. I ate them up one a day because they are so short, quick reads.
Yeah.
And it's on Kindle Unlimited. I love it. I love them. If you need something dark and twisted with a twin sandwich, go for it. And then to sandwich it all with YA, The Bright Red Fruit by Sophia El Hilo that I mentioned in our YA episode is Hades and Persephone modern day, and it's absolutely beautiful. It's poetic by definition, so please, everyone should read that.
I know, and that's still one of the books I need to read. I have so many books to read.
So many books.
I'm excited. It's literally so little. I wish I could read one a day because that would make things go so much faster, but I can't.
Right, but that's it. End scene.
Thanks, Jordan.
Okay, I've got thank you, Jordan. Thank you. I've got a couple recs. Some of them I think I've talked about, at least two of them I've talked about on the pod before. But the first one I'm going to talk about is Hooked by Emily McIntyre, which is a part of the Never After series. And this series, Emily describes it as fractured fairy tales. And they are. Some of them have direct fairy tales where they're like based on like Hooked is Peter Pan. And then others are just an idea like, oh, a Prince Charming and damsel in distress kind of vibe. But there are quite a few books in the series. I think there are 5 right now with number 6 coming out, or there are 4 and number 5 coming out. But there's one more coming out. It is up on Goodreads for you to check out. But there's Scarred, Twisted. I think Hexed is the one that's coming out. A bunch. They are very quick reads. Hooked specifically is a dark romance. It was intense.
I DNF'd that. You know how much I love my dark romance, Dev. I can't believe you're talking about it right now. I am shooketh. I had no idea you would be doing this. I DNF'd that one so fast. Talk about blood play.
Yeah, no, that one was psychotic. I will say, though, after reading Hooked, I slowed down on the series. I started the second one, which I'm pretty sure is Twisted. But Hooked, after I read Hooked, I had to sit with myself for a minute because I was like, did I enjoy this? Like, what? It is very dark. It is very dark. I honestly don't know. I am going to finish the series just because I think I'm really excited about the last one. So I can't just skip to the last one. I need to finish all of them. But that's definitely a good one if you're looking for dark retellings where the villain gets the girl. I want to emphasize that the villain gets the girl, okay?
Murder, not like vigilante murder either.
Yeah, like, I mean, they're bad people. And they are winning. They're having their happy ever afters with, so yeah, very dark, very twisted, very spicy. Get it while it's hot.
You're an enigma to me now. I thought I knew you. I really thought I knew you, and here you are.
I know. It was just something cool to read. But also, I think Hooked was my first time reading a Peter Pan retelling, and it's very loosely based, like super loose basis. And that's the thing. I don't think Emily describes them as like rigid in the way that they're the retellings, but it was just my first time reading a retelling with Peter Pan because I read a lot of Cinderella or Beauty and the Beast retellings, so I think that's also why it stands out to me. And then my second, I know, right? So different.
You're both throwing me with your first like recs between Christina making me cry and you're just making my jaw drop literally on the floor here.
I did not say it's my favorite piece of literature. I'm just saying I read it.
No, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just shocked that this is your that's it.
Yeah, this is shocking for me actually. I get what Jordan's saying. It's very shocking for me. Y'all wanted Rex. I brought Rex. My second rec is Cinderella is Faking It, which I have probably talked your ear off about. So if you are just listening to this episode for the first time, you're going to love this. If you've been listening to us all season, baby, I'm so sorry, but I'm going to talk about Cinderella is Faking It again by Dylan Dyer because I am obsessed. Exactly what it is. It's a Cinderella type of story. One girl's down and out on her luck. She's broke. Her boyfriend's not pleasing her. We're in the swamp right now and we need something to make it better. There's a little bit of secrecy. There are billionaires. It is very spicy. The spice is like so perfect.
If you could see Deb's eye twitch when she said the spice, you would believe it. Like her her eyes twitched at the thought of it.
Yes. No, it is really good. And this is Dylan's first work, the debut work, and it is so good, so good. And I also wanted to mention this because Dylan is doing something called a princess crossover series, where basically there are 4 books in the series and each will follow a princess. So Cinderella is Faking It follows Delilah, Cordelia, kind of, because Cordelia is the person who asked Delilah to trade places with her and go to these society events. And then the male main character is August Beckett. It follows like them, and that's whole Cinderella theme. The second book is Rapunzel is Losing It, which is Cordelia and her bodyguard story. So it's like a bodyguard romance. Cordelia is agoraphobic. It's the snippets we have been getting so far. I just know Victor is the main character. He is so down bad for Cordelia. She is like, her house is pink. She wears pink dresses. She's like, she does not drive. So anxious all the time. Perfect little baby. Cannot wait to hear about them. And then there are 2 other princess crossover books who she's like not giving away who they are, but I think one is forbidden, and then another one, I can't remember if it's like Grumpy Sunshine. There's one more, another book in the series. So I just thought I'd mention that because very loose retellings, but you can definitely find the fairy tale in her stories. And it's all modern. They're not fantasy. They're contemporary romances in like our modern world.
And okay. Second book. Out soon?
It is. So it did get pushed back, but Dylan has been just great about that. It got pushed back a little bit. She's just not ready to release it yet, but it is coming soon. I think it was maybe supposed to come out on, what is today? Wednesday? Maybe on Friday it was supposed to originally come out, but for right now it still just says coming soon. So we'll get it eventually. But yeah, I can't wait for that. I'm so excited. Second book, we've also talked, I don't know if we spoke about this specifically or we spoke about the other book, but My Dark Desire by L.J. Shen and Parker S. Huntington. We did, which is another Cinderella. I really wanted to do only Cinderella retellings, but I had to shake it up with Hooked. But Cinderella, I think Cinderella and Beauty and the Beast.
I think all we talked about was the first one, so I haven't talked about that.
Okay, so we didn't talk about the first one. So this is the Prince Road or Dark Prince series. I can't remember the exact series title for these books, but the first one was
My Dark Romeo.
I was about to say Romeo Must Die. That's a movie. I'm pretty sure that's a movie, and I absolutely love that movie. It's not Romeo Must Die. It is My Dark Romeo. These are billionaire romances. These are like 25 to 35-year-olds. They're in that age range.
Now, this is more what I was expecting from you.
For me, yeah. They're very cute, but specifically My Dark Desire is a Cinderella story. There's Pharaoh who's just looking for revenge, honestly, but she ends up becoming a maid in a mansion. Read it. It's really good. It's very funny. I think the characters in these books, both books, I don't know. No, I think you should read the first book before you read the second book because they are kind of interconnected in a way where if you read the second book, it'll spoil a couple things. So the characters, the way L.J. Shen and Parker S. Huntington, because they write these books together, the way they feed off of each other is so hilarious. The characters are so funny, and the things they say are absolutely ridiculous. They are very wealthy and very stupid with their money, but they also just find themselves in situations that you're like, what? Like, huh? How did we get here? But it also has a lot of heart. All of the stories do have a lot of heart. They have a lot of really strong and good themes beneath all the snark and the money. So yeah, make sure you read that. And then
wait until book 3 comes out.
Oh yeah, I can't wait for book 3 is going to actually be psychotic. It might send me to an early grave because I just know Von Bismarck. That is his last name. Yeah, that's that character's last name. Yeah, I know he's going to get up to some
Galahad,
stuff.
Bismarck, all your characters
are so unhinged. I die.
Yeah, they have a group chat that's like a theme throughout all the books, and the group chat is so unhinged. All of them, well, except for I was just about to say they always leave. And there was a quote that I was going to read, and it was about the group chat about how Zach says it's like harder to leave the group chat than like something in the government or whatever. But yeah, they're always trying to leave the group chat, and he just adds them right back. But yeah, so those are my Rex, but I do have a list of honorable mentions, books that I have not read yet. They are on my have to read list, but I wanted to share them with you guys in case you're looking for more retelling Rex. So first up, I have Pride and Protest, and then Sex, Lies, and Sensibility. Both of these are by Nikki Payne, and I think it's pretty clear what they're a retelling, not necessarily. Exactly. They're Jane Austen retellings, modern day. The covers are so pretty. They're very light and vibrant. But yeah, I think those are some cute retellings. They might be really nice to read. That's on my list. The second one I have, it's a series, the Wilmot series by Chloe Elise. And Chloe has a very popular series. I think it's the Bergman brothers. There's like 7 books and people love this series. They are so obsessed. But the Wilmot sisters are three sisters. They each get a book and they're Shakespeare retellings. So you get Twelfth Night, you get Much Ado About Nothing, I think. And I can't remember the third one.
That's my favorite.
Yeah. So when I tell, as a theater major, I cannot wait. The only reason I haven't started that series yet is because I don't know if I need to read the Bergman brothers first. So I have to do a little more research. So keep that in mind if you decide to read it.
Yeah. Sorry, really quick. You saying those reminded me that today I put a hold on a book on Libby called Worthing Nights.
Oh, Worthing that's gonna be good.
An erotic retelling of Wuthering Heights.
Yeah, that's gonna be
Swan's favorite book.
Right? Yeah,
Twilight. What? Bella Swan's favorite book.
Maybe she wrote it. Maybe it's her fanfic.
Right? Oh my! Can you imagine a Bella Swan fanfic? But yeah, that actually sounds good. So send that to me. I'm curious about that. I want to read all of the. When it comes out. I have another one, Blood Orange by Karina Halley. And this is a Dracula retelling. Ooh. I've read a lot of Karina Halley's work. I love the way she writes, but I don't think I've ever read a Dracula retelling. So I'm really excited about Blood Orange. Okay, so this next book I've had on my Kindle for months at this point. It's called Rise of the Cinder Fae by Whitney Dean.
Oh, yeah. Me too.
You know what I'm talking about? And it's a dark Cinderella retelling. So that's one.
Well, the original Grimm stories are dark.
Right. I mean, to be fair,
let's bring it back to the originals is all you have to do.
Right. A lot of fairy tales I think were told to like scare kids and stuff. Like the basis is
they're all scary. Like
We've just kind of fluffed. Well, Disney has fluffed them up a little bit, but yeah, they're scary stories. I found a King Arthur retelling, which I did not realize, but I don't know if you guys know the Legendborn series by Tracy Dion. It's a beautiful cover. It's like a pretty little black girl on the front.
It's on my forever TBR that I always want to get to, but I never do.
Right. Same. And the second book is Blood Marked. I did not realize that Legendborn is a King Arthur retelling. So that just makes me want to push it up on the list.
That's like the Hurricane Wars. I didn't know was a Kylo Ren.
I saw that. Yeah, I found that out in the slide that I sent you guys.
It's the one that Peyton bought me for Christmas, and I still haven't read it because it's a physical book.
I want to read
read those.
That's on my list because popular book talker that I follow, that's like one of her top 5 books. Yeah. So she made me want to read it, but I haven't gotten to it. And then my last rec is actually by Marissa Meyer or Mayer, unsure how she pronounces her last name, but it's the Lunar Chronicles. Okay, you just have to look up the. Do you know? And each book, the cover, like the first one, I think is called Cinder, and
oh, I have this downloaded
with the red shoe
on Audible.
Yeah. But they're like super modern. She is, and that is why I had it on my Kindle because we're trying to get through those authors. But there's an entire series of these books where each is like a retelling. The first one, like I said, is Cinder, but there's like robotic stuff and. I don't know. It's not at all what I thought it would be. Yeah, it's very futuristic. Yeah. Yes. So I'm intrigued. But yeah, I just wanted to share a bunch of books that I had on my list or had my eye on in case you guys are looking for even more recs as well, like more than what we told you about. But yeah, go ahead and rewind if you want to hear those again. But I'm very excited to read those. Those are all my recs.
So many. We had such a variety. Right? Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
This is impressive. Yeah. I'm really proud of us here. Way to go, everybody.
We did that.
Did the damn thing.
Yeah, no.
And I had 2 YA recs. Who am I?
Jordan.
And I had a dark romance that Jordan had to DNF. Who the hell am I?
And I made you both cry.
That's crazy. This entire episode is like WTF. I know. Wow.
Retellings do the weird things to you, right? Retellings do weird things.
It is perfect though, because this is technically our penultimate episode of the season. So maybe it's like on purpose that these things happen and the way this lined up. I know we are almost towards the end of the season. It is kismet. So yeah, I think maybe that's why the universe just kind of wanted to shake us up a little bit, get us like deep, have us deep.
We had a
dive.
I hope they get us deep. I really hope they get me deep.
Yeah.
Jordan.
What do I want them not to go? Do you want them not to go deep? I mean,
if they just swim around the top in a circle, I think that's fine.
A figure 8 motion or something.
Just use your hands.
Not us going from being all sad and penultimate episode to like erotica in the next breath, basically.
On that note,
right. If you want to write a Romance Rex fanfic, there you go.
Please.
I'll read it.
Oh my god, I would love that, please.
All right,
can you imagine?
Now I know what I'm going to do on our break between.
You're right, our summer break.
But this has been a really good season. I've really enjoyed it. Thanks for sticking with us. If you've been here through the whole thing, if not, go back. While we find our way, our voices, our Rex with you, for you. Please get in touch with us on our socials too, and follow us this summer. We will have probably bonus content throughout the summer as book releases happen, and we might have some events if you're in the greater Seattle area or in Washington. So keep up with us.
Yeah. I love that. One more episode. I know. One more episode, and it's going to be a good one. So make sure you tune in.
A little bonus for those that can participate and know about the Mortal Fates world by Jay Bree.
That's coming at you.
Who wants to take us out?
I will.
Okay.
Thanks, guys, for listening to us ramble about retellings and everything this season. If you're looking for more Romance Rex, be sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Romance Rex Pod. You can find our favorite book Rex from our episodes from this whole season, as well as behind the scenes content that we love to share with you guys. Again, that's at Romance Rex Pod, so make sure to give us a follow, and we won't be back next week.
Why are you reading the Romance Rex obituary right now? This is crazy.
Bye.
Bye, guys.